Hello, thank you for joining me again today. So today we are going to do an all over body workout, very gentle with a little bit of balance as well. So as we always do, we're going to start with our alignment. So looking down at the feet and aligning them so they're facing forward and allowing the knees to soften, and see if you can get the heels directly underneath your hips. So the hips as in the hip sockets as opposed to the outside of your hips here. So knees are soft, and we're going to tilt pubic bone to nose on an out breath, and then breathe in to tilt pubic bone down towards toes. So breathing out and breathing in. So relaxing your shoulders as you do these. And then find your neutral position. So somewhere in the middle, still standing tall, and we're going to circle the shoulders. That's it. So you're standing tall as you do this, your tummies are lifted. That's it. And try not to go to your biggest extreme. This is just about mobilizing gently. And it's also a great way to remind you, or remind your body, that you want the shoulders back and down and your chest nice and open, as opposed to the forward roll position. And then relax your shoulders down, still standing tall. That's it. And we're going to look up to the sky on one side and breathe in, making sure you don't hang your head backwards. And exhale, semicircle your chin down towards your chest and up to the other side. And breathe in at the top and exhale. Bring your head back towards a neutral position and just double check that you're not in this position or too far back. You're nice and tall and you're trying to lengthen your neck, and you're not doing this either. So sometimes people think lengthening the neck means here, but what we're thinking is a nice long neck in the back. So next thing we're going to do is some heel raises. And I have a chair here available, so please do feel free to use a chair if you want to, if balance is a challenge for you. So we're going to start with one heel raise at a time, so drawing the heel up and return, trying to keep the hips central as you do this. That's it, and there is the option to swap mid-air if you like. So swapping, that's it. And if you're a bit unsure about your balance, and you may not need the chair at all, you could always just keep it there and maybe tap it whenever you need to. Okay, then we're going to go into very gentle squats, so like knee bend squats. So another great opportunity to use the chair if you want to. So all we're going to do is imagine we're up against a wall and we're going to slide down that wall and then rise back up. Okay, so you're sliding your body up and down the wall with your knees bending slightly and return. I mean, if you're really used to exercise and you love a squat, you would be most welcome to send yourself down into your squat instead. That's it. Okay, and then coming back to the center, we're going to lift a knee and imagine pulling it up with your abdominal muscles. So we're going to keep the hips very aligned as you do this. So when you lift the knee, you're not then sinking or hoiking that hip up. So lift the knee, scoop the belly to lift and return back down. And obviously with or without the chair, scooping the belly and return back down. And you can keep this really small. You could just lift the heel if you prefer, or lift the toes just above the floor. Making sure you're breathing as you do this. Okay, one more each side. That's it. Then coming back to the centre. And then we are going to lift the leg forward and bend the standing knee and return. So lift the other leg forward, bend the standing knee and return. So it's a bit like a single leg squat, but we're doing it in a very graceful, gentle way as we do this. That's it. Remember, you've got your chair available if you need it. It doesn't have to be a chair, it could be a wall, it could be a mantelpiece, a table near you. Okay, one more. That's it. And then we're going to sweep the leg around and sweep the leg back. Sweeping the leg around and sweeping it back. That's it, putting your foot down at any point you need to, holding on at any point you need to. And one more. There we go, and return. Okay, you might want a little wiggle at this point and to have a break. And next one we're going to do is bring the heels together. So then we're going to try and keep the heels together as much as you can as you rise up. So, and then lower back down. So you're trying to wrap those thighs around, really activate the inner thighs and the buttocks as you draw up and gently down. That's it. I often get told off because I can't actually keep my heels together. That's it. But we can try. You might be thinking exactly the same thing, but the very act of trying to keep them together is what is going to strengthen those legs. And then return and give yourself a little wiggle. Okay, the next one we're going to do is a hip opener balance. So we're going to lift the leg and rest the leg on the inside of the calf or the thigh, but not actually on the knee. And we're going to open and close. Remember, you can hold on at any point you need to. That's it. You can obviously put your foot down at any point you need to as well. So you're standing tall, you're breathing. That's it. And then we're going to swap sides. So we're going to open and close. And one more. Open and close. And then give your hips a wiggle. Well done. Okay, so we're now going to move into a bow and arrow. So double check your alignment first of all and your knees are soft. And we're going to hand each other a present and then push one present forward and draw the other present back and open up behind you, breathing in. And exhale. And with your hips, try and keep them facing forward as you rotate and return. Well done. Deep breaths. Okay, one more each side. And then return and give yourself a shake. Okay, moving into side bend bananas. So we're going to bring the legs together, making sure the knees are soft, and we're going to very gently push the hip out and reach. So you're creating a little banana shape and then return. With your lower back, if you're prone to lower back discomfort, tuck the pubic bone upwards, tailbone downwards. You'll keep creating space here as you create your banana. And you can use your tummies to hold that position as you reach and return and reach and return. One more each side. That's it. And again. Well done. And return. Okay, stepping the feet out to hip width apart again. Keeping the knees soft, we'll move into roll downs. Remembering if you've got anything that you need to protect in your spine, like osteoporosis, ruptured discs, fused spines, please feel free to keep your hands on your thighs and not go too far. So I will do the osteoporosis version first, and then I will do the other version after that. So we're going to breathe in, reaching the arms up to the sky. And exhale, reach the hands down past your chest. Open up the chest, breathing in. This is where your hands will then go on your thighs. You're going to keep the knees soft as you curve forward, just to above your knees, taking a breath. Exhale, roll your way back up. So with that, with the hands on the thighs, it means you're not loading and you're not going into too much of a flexion. If you've got pots, I'll do the pots version with you now. So we're going to reach the arms up to the sky. And exhale, press the hands down past your chest. Open up the chest, breathing in. And exhale, peel your way down, keeping the knees soft to the point that feels good for you. And at your point, take a breath in. If you've got pots, squeeze the legs, lift up the tummy, squeeze the buttocks as you roll your way back up. And when you get back up to the top, keep those legs and everything squeezed as you take a breath back in. And then really slowly let those muscles go. And that should, in an ideal world, keep the blood where it needs to be. Okay, let's do another version. Breathing in. And exhale. Let's open up the chest. So you're going to do your version now. Whatever that might be, whether it's putting your hands on your thighs to look after your spine, or whether it's the Potsy version, where you're going to squeeze the legs as you roll back up. Whichever version it is, feel free to take it slowly and mindfully and enjoy it. Breathing in. Exhale. Okay, We're going to finish on that one, and then we're going to get down onto the floor, onto our bottoms. So take your time getting down there. Do grab some water if you need it as well, and just make sure that you're safe. Okay, see you down there. Okay, so now you're on the floor, we're going to bring the feet in front of you and make sure that you allow room for your tummy, so allow space for your tummy. So keep the feet a little bit wider than hip width apart if you need to. And that's the knees as well, tracking the feet. And we're going to come up, bring the hands behind, roll the shoulders back, taking a breath in here. And then exhale, scoop the tailbone underneath, scoop the belly as you roll, and then come back up, breathing in. And exhale, nice and gentle. And one more like this. And then this time we're going to hinge. So we're going to hinge back and we're going to lift a leg. And that might be plenty for you, or you could lift both legs and find your balance as your spine is tall and straight and you're breathing here. And then lower them back down again. So you could try this again. So gentle hinge back, scooping the belly. Lift the legs one at a time to find your balance. That's it. And then return. Let's do one more. Hinging, lifting and breathing. And then returning and take a moment to rest. So you might want to sway the knees side to side from this one. Okay, so we're now going to lie down on the floor. And for now we're going to remove anything too high underneath your head to provide you with some space. And we're going to do some chest lifts. So we are going to lift the head and shoulders off the mat, putting your hands one on top of the other underneath the bit that sticks out in your skull. That's it. And making sure your elbows are in your peripheral vision as you're here. So this is one option. If putting your hands behind your head isn't available to you, you could cross your arms over your chest instead here, or you could even keep them down on the floor. So hands behind the head, taking a breath in. Exhale as you peel your spine up off the mat, imagining one vertebra at a time to look towards your knees. Your head is resting back in your hands aren't yanking forward, and then lower back down again. And with your tailbone, you'll be really tempted to lift your tailbone up as well, but I'd like you to try and keep the tailbone anchored as you gently lift and gently return. Breathing in, use your breath. Exhale and gently lift and down. Now, if you're getting really tired in the neck, if you're noticing you're bringing tension in, lower down and turn your head side to side so you can release any tension that you might have introduced. And then the next version, you can either rest your head on a pillow if you want to and just stick with the legs, or you could lift like you were doing before and then lower back down, or you could keep the chest lifted as we bring one knee into the chest and then lower down, and then the other knee in towards the chest and lower back down. So you're breathing here as you do this. So your head might be lifted like this, and when I say head, I mean your chest is lifted, your head is resting back in your hands, or you could lift at the same time and lower. Or you could keep your head relaxed as you bring the knee in and return. So choose the version that's going to work for you and is better for your body for today. Okay, and then when you're ready, take a rest, open the arms into a T shape and sway the knees very gently side to side. Okay, we're going to move into a sitting spine stretch. So we're going to bring our legs in front of us. That's it, sitting as tall as you can. And I know a lot of us are very tight in the back of the legs or the hips and the spine as well. So if you need to put a cushion or a block underneath your bottom, feel free to do that. Okay, so we're going to sit tall and lift our spines up. And then we're going to draw the tummy back as we reach and slide the arms forward. And then we're going to slide the arms back to lift us tall. So with your toes and your feet, try and imagine the little toes drawing back as well, so it's not just the big toes. Reaching back as you breathe in. And exhale, draw the tummy back as you reach. And then return. So nice and gentle, reaching and returning. And one more, breathing deeply, reaching and returning. Okay, so now we're going to go onto our backs again. We're going to move into a shoulder bridge. So with shoulder bridges, we always move cushions away from our heads, because if we lift our hips too high and our head is lifted as well, it'll be too much for your neck. So bring your feet to hip width apart. That's it, fairly close to your bottom. Roll the shoulders away from the ears. Make sure they're not lifted this way, that they're down. And we're going to imagine one vertebra at a time, tilting and peeling up off the mat, sending the knees away from you as you lift the pelvis and lift the tummy, breathing in at the top. And exhale, gently peel your way back down again. So taking a breath in, exhale, peel your way up. So at the top, taking a breath. And exhale, roll your way back down. And again, breathing in. Exhale as you peel up. So at the top, breathing in. And exhale, peel your way back down again. Then we're going to lift it in one. So imagine you've got a rod up your spine and you're going to press and then lower and press and then lower, and see if you can lower to a hover and press and lower. And in your mind just think, am I squeezing my glutes evenly as I'm pressing up? And you may just noticing it might help you realign a little bit as you press and then lower down. And one more, press and lower. Okay, and then bring your knees in towards your chest and circle them. Okay, we're going to roll over onto our sides and set ourselves up nicely. So by nicely, I mean making sure your head is level with the floor, either in this position here, or if this isn't available to your shoulder, in this position here instead. And with the legs, we're going to bring the legs forward from our body, so to the front of the mat. This shoulder, try not to let it roll in or up, try and keep it away from your ears. And then lift up the tummy and check that you have stacked your hips on top of each other. Okay, you're here, you're going to look towards the horizon as you very gently lift and lower. And remember, height isn't important here. It's the control. It's the not letting this bit take over, the movements coming from here as you lift and lower. That's it. Well done. And then we're going to hover the leg, flex the foot, push it forward, point the toe, draw it back. So push the heel forward, draw it back. Nice deep breaths as you're doing this. And one more. And then we're going to grab hold of a cushion or a ball and rest the knee on top. And this bottom leg you're going to flex and gently push up and lower back down, pressing the front knee down on the cushion or ball as you press and lower. And then we're going to lift up and we're going to do tiny, tiny circles. I call this the final killer. It's rather hard, isn't it, when your legs are getting fatigued. And circle the other way as well. Well done. And take a break, take a moment. And what we're going to do is move up into a mermaid on the way up so we can neatly transition to the other side. So we're going to keep the legs where they are as we bring ourselves into a seated position. Now, you might find that your hips are too stiff to be in this position and you might be like this. So if that's you, feel free to bring one leg out, feel free to bring both legs out. So choose what is best for you. Okay, so we're in our mermaid position, we're sitting tall. We're going to reach towards one of the feet and reach up and over as we breathe. So breathing here, you can of course do this if you prefer. And then we're going to reach towards the knee and press up towards the knee, breathing in and return. That's it. Breathe. Okay, final one. Okay, and then we're going to send the legs the other way. So once again, setting yourself up so your head is looking towards the horizon and it's level with the floor. And your hips are stacked and your legs slightly forward from your body. Okay, so going to very gently lift and lower. Breathing as you do this. And one more. And then we're going to flex the foot and push it forward and point the toe back. Flexing forward and pointing back, scooping the abdominals as you do this. Final one. Then we're going to bring our leg on top of a cushion or a ball and lift and lower the bottom leg. So it doesn't matter too much whether your foot is rested or lifted. Just want you to push down into your cushion or ball as you lift the other leg up. Okay, final one like this. And then the final killer, the circles. Oh. Nice deep breaths as you do this. Circle the other way as well. And then relax. That's it. And we're going to push ourselves up into a mermaid from here. So you're done with your balls now. That's it. So into your mermaid, whichever version that is, whether your legs are going to be like this, or one leg out, or both legs out. So we're going to reach towards the foot. reaching up and over, breathing in. And exhale, press up towards the knee. So, and again, reaching up and over, breathing in. And press up. And your final one, breathing in. And press up. And then we're going to bring both legs in front of us and lean back and gently sway the knees in towards the centre, not going too far. If you're prone to hypermobility, it's a great idea to put a ball there so you're not twisting too far. And we're going to bring the feet together. That's it, in a diamond position, sitting tall. That's it. We're going to very gently curve the spine, holding onto the thighs, and lift up tall again, breathing in. And exhale, curve. You could bring the legs together a little bit as you curve, and come up nice and tall. And one more. And come up, okay, and side stretch. Now with the side stretch you can put your legs in a comfy position for you, so if you prefer to cross your legs or legs in V or this position, that's fine. As we reach up and over, breathing in, keeping the opposite hip pressed into the mat, and exhale to the other side, breathing in. That's it. And then we're going to go beyond the opposite knee, still pressing the opposite hip down into the mat. That's it. Final one like this. And then sitting super, super tall, we're going to finish the class with a breath in towards the sky. And exhale, press the hands down, past your chest in celebration of everything your body was able to do today. Huge well done to you, and I will see you again very soon.